Alrighty, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Season 3, Episode 29 of Hit the Books, the podcast all about sports betting, the best bets you should be taking, and everything surrounding sports. This week, we had the NHL free agency, and it was lights out. Lots of moves, and we got the best ones here today. NHL trade deadline came and went as well. We got some details on that coming in, so we'll make sure to cover all that and more this week. Huff on a little hiatus, some internet theft at his home. We'll have to find out more about that. Hopefully he joins us a little bit later. But Ace and Mac, you're here with me this week. Let's start it off with them and introduce them. Ace, let's start off with you this week. What do you got for me? Great to see you here for another week. Episode 29, NHL trade deadline, NFL, whatever I called it, free agency. What do you got?
Yeah, heating up there in both the leagues. A lot of good offseason stuff and in-season stuff as well. Mackie and Huff keep delivering me these free bets on the NCAA conference tournament, March Madness coming up. So you might want to hop on while it's hot. I know I did, and I just fucking don't look back there. Hopefully Huff's doing well. I think Kenny Pickett's robbing everybody's house of their internet because he's not going to have a job to come next year. I know Huff's excited to talk about that. But yeah, my Bruins got left off of the power rankings for the NHL this week. I guess rightfully so, but they're still right there at the top of the standings, and they're not even playing their best hockey. So when they get to playing their best, you know where they're going to be, right back at the top. But yeah, ready to go on another week here. Got some good stuff on the slate.
Heck yeah. Mackie, let's shoot it over to you here. What do you got for us? Another episode, another week. What do you got?
Yeah, just same old. Obviously, getting ready for March Madness. We're about 4 days away from Selection Sunday, so obviously we're all hyped for that. Other than that, Rangers look good. They've been playing really well. Shesterkin playing best hockey I've ever seen him play, probably. Guy's been a machine, so it's good coming into the end of the season. Other than that, a lot of free agency in the NFL, but nothing. Just ready to get into it.
Awesome, boys. Awesome. I'm excited to be here for another week. Like I said, no Huff. He's got some internet issues at home. He's working on it. Tried getting him in, but we couldn't figure it out. Don't forget to check out our live streams coming up for March Madness. Selection Sunday being our first one for March Madness officially. Lots of exciting stuff coming that evening. So make sure to tune in and watch the Selection Sunday broadcast with us live and so on. Let's get moving into this week. What do we got to start? We're going to start off with the NHL. We had the trade deadline come and go in the NHL. We want to look at some of these dealings here. Starting off, the Pittsburgh Penguins have agreed to trade Jake Getzel to the Carolina Hurricanes in exchange for Michael Bunting and draft picks. Not an awful move by the Penguins, to be real here. They're trying to, I don't know what you want to call it,
Rebuild.
continue to rebuild, or whatever you want to call it, right?
The Pittsburgh Penguins, they got to do what the good teams have done. I mean, the Los Angeles Kings, they built around their stars. They kind of fell off of it, but they're in the mix still. They're kind of not as high as they'd like to be, I think. But I think they did a good job of putting young pieces around their veteran stars. Penguins kind of struggling to do that. Didn't understand their offseason coming into the year, adding more age with Riley Smith and Erik Karlsson, tying up that salary. I guess we thought they were going to give it one more go, but they're kind of right where they were. Weak goaltending. They have a lot of other areas to address. I think you ship a lot of the pieces out, keep on to 87, maybe 71 as well. Jake Gensel, we all saw the writing on the walls with that one. You get a fat return too. Happy my guys aren't in on it. Mackie, I'm sure you guys are too. You had to give up too many pieces to bring in Gensel. But the Hurricanes going to be one of my winners of the trade deadline here. Vegas Golden Knights, we'll get to that. Mackie, I don't know if you have any thoughts about who you thought won this trade deadline or how you think this Gensel deal went down. A lot of teams were in the running and ended up going to Carolina.
Yeah, they gave up Bunting for it. I mean, I know Bunting hasn't had the season that they were expecting him to coming from Toronto, but they had to give up a lot, and we could see how it pans out for them. I obviously won against, so I think he was the best free agent out there. Carolina obviously strikes gold with him and Tarasenko.
Tarasenko going to the Cats.
Not Tarasenko. Who else did they get?
The Canes added Kuznetsov.
Kuznetsov.
Yeah, they grabbed
Kuznetsov,
him,
my bad.
but for cheap too.
Yeah, he had a lot of good chances last night, but neither of them could find the back of the net. Gensel's been 0 for so far as well. So these Canes gotta get over that hump. They're making big moves here, but I don't know. We'll see if it's gonna be enough.
I mean, you talk about that Kuznetsov move too. Guy fell from stardom so quick. He has a $7.5 million cap hit, and he's going for a third-round draft pick. And Washington retained half his salary. That's kind of nuts to me. I mean, we saw him as like an all-star playing for Team Russia and whatnot. Now he's going to be a depth piece on the Canes. Tough game last night against a really good Rangers team. Shesterkin playing his best hockey, like you said earlier. But you got to think those are two great moves for a team that was already pretty stacked going into this Eastern Conference playoffs.
Yeah, they don't have many weak links. I was watching that game last night, and I was like, every single line
There's
has, like,
somebody.
big names on it, and every single line can do damage, and, they're definitely gonna be one to look out for, but they don't even, I don't even know who was playing goalie last night,
Yeah,
like, they
well,
don't really
Frederick
have.
Anderson's been injured for years, I feel like, ever since they got him from Toronto. So it's like Ronta or Kochetkov. I don't even know who else
He
they go
played
to.
well last night, but they just don't have that goalie that they can make a run
Yeah.
with, and that team just isn't. I mean, until I see it, I mean, last
Why'd
night,
they
all
hold
the
on
star
to
power last.
Anderson, honestly? Like, that's just crazy to me. They stuck with him for, like, what, 3 years now? He's always doing the same thing.
Yeah. Just all the star power on that team, I mean, getting shut out last night. They didn't even have that many chances, like, they had a few good chances, Shesterkin made a lot of good saves, but, I mean, with that roster, they should be peppering.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know,
who else
something
do
off
you
about
who
that
else do
team.
you think they'll coming out of the Metro? They're still one of those top teams. Way to add it coming out of the deadline at least. At least they're going all in. Maybe they can change their Eastern Conference fortunes. But you talked about that Tarasenko trade. Just you have the details on that one. I thought that was a pretty good move as well.
I did. I just had it. Where'd it go?
Getting dealt from Ottawa.
Yeah, Florida Panthers require forward Vladimir Tarasenko from the Ottawa Senators for a conditional fourth-round pick in the 2024 NHL draft and a third-round pick in the 2025 draft. Very interesting deal there.
Yeah, I mean the Panthers just finding a way to add with for nothing. I feel like you didn't get to give up that much, and you get Vladimir Tarasenko. Mac, you guys had him last year. I don't think he really hit his stride with you guys, but he kind of looked like he was playing pretty decent up in Ottawa.
He did play well with us last year. I mean, we just didn't make we didn't get out of the first round, so I mean, nobody really saw anything. But he was putting up numbers right after the deadline, and then into the playoffs, he was even putting up some decent numbers. But he's down there. He's going to strive. He's around how many good players. He's always going to be on offense. He's a goal scorer. It's what he is. He finds the back of the net, and he's already shown it in what 2-3 games. He's already been down there. I think this is a great move for Florida, and it just makes them that much stronger. So I mean, if both these teams. I mean, the Rangers didn't make any moves, so I mean, they made a
They
few
made a
moves,
few.
but
They're
they
like the
didn't make any
Bruins. They
big.
made some depth moves. You picked up more pieces
But
than us, actually.
these top two teams, I mean, the Panthers and the Hurricanes. I mean, definitely two scary teams to get to the East.
Well, not to mention the Florida Panthers are number one in our power rankings yet again for this week. They've been in the power rankings for about a month now, at least I'd say. But they've been rocking. They added, I think, someone else to their depth as well, Jesse. I don't know if you can see if the Panthers made any other moves at the deadline. I think they did. Might have grabbed a depth forward or defenseman. But they're surging right now. Once again, Mackie. One thing I'm worried about, though, I think I said it before. I know that the Blues did it a couple years ago, where they went from the All Star break on surge to win the cup. But like, are the Panthers peaking too early?
No, because I think that roster. I mean, it's not a fluke. It's not like they're just playing good hockey right now. This team is stacked
Yeah.
top to bottom. Even the goaltending, you have Bobrovsky in the net. Even Stolars is playing incredible.
Mhm.
They have really no weaknesses to that team right now, and they're just playing to the best of their ability. And it's not a fluke. It's not like they're peaking where they're gonna kind of crash at any point. I think this team is playing to their potential right now, no matter how good it is. I mean,
Especially after going all
this
the way to the
roster
cup
top to
last year.
bottom. Yeah, I mean, this roster top to bottom is built for a championship, and I think they're gonna. I think they're cup favorites going into this thing.
Yeah, I mean, they
I have
yeah, go for it.
I have what the Panthers did here in the deadline. They got M- Magnus Hellberg from the Penguins for Weber, a goalie, and a conditional seventh. They got Kyle
Oh,
Okposo
yeah, that
from
was
the
the move I liked.
Sabres. They got Tarasenko, like we talked about, and
That's it.
they traded Anthony Duclair.
Oh, yeah, he was well, I think he was a part of the deal. He wasn't on their roster. He was on the Sharks, but that might have just been a cap.
Oh yes, yes,
They were
yes.
just a
Yeah.
part of that
Sorry.
for cap. But
Yeah.
yeah, going back to that Kyle Costa, like we said, Mackey, they're ready for a cup run. I hate to say it after they knocked out my Bruins in the first round, but then you add a guy like a captain, a leader like Kyle Okposo on like your fourth line. That's just a great depth piece. Playing with Lomberg, and I forget who else is on that bottom unit out there in Florida. But that was pretty crazy. You, like I was saying earlier with your Rangers, though, you picked up Roslovic. I'm excited to see what he do. He can do.
Roslovic has been and Wenberg. I mean, they're both playing really good hockey. Roslovic, a nice piece for that top line with Mika and Kreider. Mika's getting going now, but they're playing really well together. I like Wenberg on that third line center. It's a great piece between Cooley and Kako. So we have three lines rolling right now. Obviously, that fourth line isn't much, but they're playing good hockey. Obviously, we have their star power up front. Shesterkin's been playing absolutely incredible. I'm talk about peaking. I'm kind of scared the Rangers are kind of peaking at the wrong time right now. But I mean, if they keep playing like this, they're going to be dangerous.
I think when we did that blind ranking, I was talking about Shesterkin. He didn't have the best first half of the year, at least you might have thought so, but numbers wise, maybe he wasn't. And he's kind of turned it on.
Yeah,
I think he's getting back into form. That's the thing. Like he's getting back into his Vezina form right now at the right time. I don't think it's more of a swing. I think it just took him a little bit, get a nice little break, and then you come out flying because he's been on fire the last few weeks. But yeah, those Rangers good ads there. Seemed like you were kind of bummed a little bit that they didn't make a big splash, but I think they have all the pieces already.
I just really wanted Gensel, and it's probably for the better. I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
at the end of the day, it was cup or bust. If we did end up getting Gensel, we still have our young guys now. We still have Cockle we get to hold on to for the next few years to keep developing. So maybe it's for the better. We'll see. But he was definitely the guy that I wanted.
Gensel's going to be out in the free agency market, I think, in this offseason, though. No way the Canes are able to hold on to him, too. So that'll be a cool story to watch. He'll probably end up going somewhere that's irrelevant and cashing in a big check, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
But another team that I thought won the trade deadline came out west was that Vegas Golden Knights team. I mean, they had that big splash Thomas Hurdle. How much, before I get into this, do you know how much they're over the cap now? Was it you or Huff said that in the chat the other day? It's like,
No, they're fleecing the system like the
yeah,
Lightning
they're all
did
on
back
the
then.
IR,
They
though.
they have to make
LTIR.
the playoffs.
Yeah.
What?
They have to make the playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, they get in a ton of trouble.
Yeah,
Like
which they will,
millions
though.
in
They're
fines.
locked into a playoff spot.
They'll
I'm not
they're
saying they
not
won't, but
they're
like
not locked in. They're definitely
there's
not locked
They
in,
are,
but
though.
they'll no, dude, they got like
Mackie, are
4
they missing
points
the
on them.
playoffs, though? What do you think?
salary cap is 15 million higher than the league's limit.
Mackie, I'm saying this, though. If there were odds on them to miss the playoffs, what do you think they're sitting at?
Oh, well, they're probably minus 250 right now to make the playoffs.
You think it's that low? I think it's higher than
100%.
I think it's like
100%. They're the first team out. They're the
yeah,
first team out.
but look at the teams under them and around them.
I mean, the Wild, that's a good
Yeah,
roster. They
that's
just
not a bad
haven't really
one.
been playing that well.
Cashing on the card last night. But no, they added Tomas Hurdle. That was a great move. I thought the Bruins were low-key going to be in on him. Coming out of San Jose. He's been on the block, I feel like, for the last 3 years since the Sharks sucked. They finally got rid of all those pieces. They got rid of Marlowe. They got rid of Carlson. Now they get rid of Hurdle. They also brought in Noah Hannafin. He was like one of the top left defensemen on the point coming into the trade deadline, I would say. I think the Flames dealt both of their defensemen, Chris Tanev and Noah Hannafin. Hannafin going to the Knights. But, I mean, Stanley Cup team, yeah, they're over cap. Yeah, they're cheating the system. But look at the names they have on that roster. I mean, that's another one, kind more so than the Canes. They have the cup to back it up too, but they're just loaded, and I think they're going to be poised for a run if they can get in. I mean, they get Stone back, they get Hurdle back. There's a few other names too that are
Yeah, when we saw the Lightning do it, they ended up getting a cup out of it.
3 in a
And I
row,
mean,
right?
this team just won a cup, so they're definitely built for it. And obviously, they add those names like you said, Tomas Hurdle. I don't think they're gonna go back to back, but I mean, the roster's there. If they can just click at the right moment, they will go back.
It's a weak West too. Like we've been saying this all year. It's a weak West. We know the Canucks and the Jets are good. We've had them in our power rankings, but we know the NHL playoffs is a whole different beast, unlike any other league. And I
Yeah,
think that veteran experience and size that Vegas has is going to show big time. Another big move, though, I thought this wasn't the Avs had like they didn't have a light deadline. They had some good moves, and that's a really good team out west. But I like that Bowen Byram, Casey Middlestat trade. Bowen Byram already making an impact with Buffalo. I know they have Dahlin as their top defenseman, but he's slotting him right behind there. He's putting up points in a lot of these games since he's been acquired. Then Middlestat centering the second line for the Avs. That's not too bad to walk into that too. A nice young piece for an Avs team that's poised for a cup. He was what, top 3 pick, Middlestat?
seventh
7th
overall.
All right. Yeah, that's like what now, 3 or 4 years ago?
He was Mr. Minnesota Hockey, Mr. Hockey Minnesota.
Yeah, I remember he was always supposed to be great. He was good. He was always good with the Sabres, but playing on this team, he might be able to become electric. Less minutes though. I think his time on ice was down by about 5 minutes last night when I looked at it. But
Less attention.
Bowen
Maybe you can
Byram,
do some
it's a
good.
risky trade in my opinion. That guy's good at defenseman. I don't know if you guys remember though. He was almost out of hockey like what, a year or two ago because of his concussions. I thought he hung him up and he's like, actually, I'm gonna come back. He's one of those guys that had so many concussions. He's one away from ending his career.
Yeah, he's a young stud though. Definitely a lot of talent.
Trying to think any other good moves at the deadline here. I think those are the big ones that jumped out to me. Those were the teams that I thought really had good deadlines. I know I said Tanev earlier, went to the Stars. Reading the list right here, Lindholm to that's an old one. To Foley, that guy gets passed around all the time. Adam Henry,
Holy, yeah, Devils. How about the Devils selling?
Did they sell though? I mean, they sold rentals, right?
Yeah, but I mean, they're not. They didn't buy
They
anyone.
brought they
They're
brought
just
in 2
fucking.
goalies though.
Their names on
Dude,
this
they're a
list a lot
mess.
more than all the other teams.
Yeah, how funny is it they brought in 2 goalies, Mackie? Like, that's saying my
They're a
goalie room is
mess,
awful.
dude.
Like, we're bringing in Kaapo
They're a
Kakkonen
mess.
and Jake Allen. Like, ooh.
And Koskinen played really well against the Rangers too, but dude, that Devils team is terrible, man. Got nothing going for them right now.
Forgot to mention the Avs grabbing Sean Walker, Sean Monahan. The Jets had a good deadline too. Forget about them. Toffoli and I believe the other one was Monahan. Yeah, Anthony Mantha went to the Golden Knights too. Forgot to mention that one. He went for pennies. I think that guy's had a good career. It kind of fell off with the struggling Caps, but he was a good prospect with the Wings. Zucker to the Preds. Nothing really. You got Wenberg, Allen. Yeah, we kind of went over all these big moves. Lightning grabbed Duclair. They've been playing good hockey too. I think they're kind of on the uptick. Remember we were talking about that bubble playoff race a couple weeks back. You were thinking the Lightning fall out. I don't think so. You change your opinion on that at all? Lightning playing a little bit better hockey.
Well, yeah, the second after I said that, the Red Wings go on to lose fucking 6 straight, and they're throwing punches in
Yeah, I
practices and
saw
shit.
that.
So I definitely changed my opinion. The Red Wings are in shambles right now. I
I
don't know if
called
they can
that.
dig
I
themselves
called
out.
that.
I don't know if they can dig themselves out for sure, but I think one of these Met teams get in. Either the Islanders or the Caps. I think the Caps
What
are
about the
playing
Flyers?
really good.
They stumbled a bit too, didn't
Well,
they?
the Flyers are still in that 3 spot. I think that what I'm saying is I think whoever doesn't get that 3 spot,
Mhm.
one of them or the Caps will get into that wild card. I think the Red Wings are dead in the water.
I do too.
Um, Lightning just need to keep pace. They just need to do their job, honestly. I think that they could also get kicked out, but that roster's
Too
too
good.
good.
Yeah, too good.
Um,
Good goal. They're the
and if they
only
just
we
keep
talk
winning
about all those
games.
teams you just talked about too. You're a goaltender yourself. That's the only team with a legit goalie.
Right, but how far does a goalie get you recently? Besides the Lightning reign, how far does a goalie get you?
Yeah, yeah, you're not wrong. But that's the guy that
It
did it.
gets you to
You get that guy
it
back
gets
in
you
the
to the
playoffs, 88, you know.
it gets you to the playoffs at least. It will get you to the playoffs. I mean, that roster
Islanders
should
have been
easily make
hot
the
too.
playoff
They didn't
spot,
make
but
any moves at all, but that
not a
team's they've been good.
not a team you wanna see in the playoffs either,
No, the
especially
little
for the
rats. Those
Rangers.
little rats.
Oh
You
my
don't
god,
want
and
to.
they got the new coach there, they're playing for new
Was it
life. I mean,
Roy?
they got
Do
a
they
lot.
have Patrick Roy?
Yeah, Patrick Waugh's over there,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
and they hated that old guy, so I don't even know what his name was,
Matthew
but,
Barzal's having a career year too, very silently. He's going to put up the most points of his career. I think he did it in his rookie campaign. He put up 82 for the Isles his rookie year, which is pretty good. But I think he's going to come close to the 100-point mark this season.
and speaking of good goalies, I mean, you got fucking,
Sorokin,
Sorokin over
yeah.
there, so top 3, top
You
4 goalie in
Mackie,
the
you want
league.
to get 2 seed or 1 in the Metro and then have to go play the Isles in round 1?
No, right now we'd play the Lightning.
Who would you rather see, the Lightning or the Isles? That's a tough question.
The Lightning, just because the Isles, I mean,
That the
the
brand of
rivalry there, the
hockey,
travel, it's just anything could happen in that series. I
low
just think we're the
scoring
better
game.
team
Yeah, the goalie too.
between the Lightning.
Who's a better goalie right now, Sorokin or Vasilevsky? I mean, that's a tough call as well.
Right now, Sorokin is,
Yeah.
right now,
What
but I
about
mean,
come playoff time?
when you come into playoffs, everything changes.
Yeah.
Like, right now, I see who would you want in that series? I don't know.
Yeah,
That's a good question.
that's a tough
Those are
question. Neither of them.
those are just
Yeah. Give me the. You know what? I'll give me the 2 seed in the Atlantic. Let the Panthers take the 1. I'll play the Leafs in the first round. Let the Panthers deal with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Battle of Florida. What a way to knock them
yeah,
out in the first round.
and let Florida get beat in the
Yep.
first round, and you guys play the Lightning in the second round, get cakewalked to the Eastern Conference
Against you
Finals.
guys. That'd be cool. That'd be good. I mean,
That'd be pretty cool.
imagine the rivalries we
cool.
could get. We're kind of poised for this. We could get Tampa Bay and Florida, Boston, Toronto, Isles, Rangers, and then what would the last one be?
Flyers, Canes.
Canes and Devils would be the best one we'd want, probably.
Yeah, but you're not getting the Devils.
No. No.
Devils are like almost mathematically eliminated at this point.
Dust.
No,
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
embarrassing.
But
But yeah, that's
6 points out.
four.
I
That
mean,
would be
they're
The,
not.
Bla-
4.
the Blackhawks are eliminated.
Yeah, I saw that.
Blackhawks are. They're the only team.
I'll tell you what, though.
I
You know
think
who's
so.
been jumping back onto the scene? Connor Bedard. He's having a rookie resurgence ever since he came back with that fishbowl. He's been a stud. I think he had 4 points last night. Mackey also.
5.
He had 5 last night?
4 assists, 1 goal. You
Yeah.
had 3 points the game before.
Yeah, I'd love to see those clips too of Uncle Nick Foligno coaching him up on the bench, saying, "I'm going to need to stay in Chicago for 5 more years to teach you everything, kid." But other than that, kind of got to give myself a pat on the back. We haven't been carding as much because we do our personal NHL plays. But Mackie, how hot have those anytime goal scorers been? I know I don't rip them every night, but I think on the season I'm sitting like 11 for 14, 11 for 15, something like that.
Yeah, and you get about like 80% of them at plus money as well.
Yeah.
So it's definitely nice you've been smacking them. I don't really look into props like that, so I don't really like know value on them. But you've definitely been killing them.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to find a great player with good value going against a weak team. The guy that's on the first
Weak
power
goalie.
play, guy who plays big, like 20+ minutes a night, like Pasternak, Bedard, McKinnon, Matthews. The big names. Find the big names and then
Guys that like to lamp.
find the best value. The Connor McDavid one, holy shit, that one he popped it like a minute into the game, but he was pointless the day before.
35 seconds.
Kucherov,
He was.
the guys that put up 40+ a year, you can count on them against a bad team, especially if they get up on that man advantage. But yeah, a lot of good stuff going on in the NHL. Jesse, I don't know if you want to outro this NHL maybe with our power rankings, let the people know where we
Yeah, I
stand.
was thinking that as well. Are there any other teams that you guys want to hear
No,
their dealings or anything? Like,
no one too crazy, I don't think. I mean, who'd the Leafs add? Didn't they try and get tough?
Yeah.
We added Pat Maroon. I mean,
Caleb Weber, unsigned draft choice defenseman from the Hurricanes.
didn't do much, huh?
Joel Edmondson.
Oh yeah, Joel Edmondson. It's supposed to be a big move. He's from the Blues?
Yeah.
Yeah, big left-handed defenseman. I mean, he's supposed to give them that presence, but they're still weak on the back end and weak in the net. So I'm not too worried about them. Bruins,
Labushkin.
free plug here. Bruins swept the Leafs in the season series. Hopefully, we get that match.
Sam Lafferty, young guy,
Yeah.
or not that young, I guess. He's from over here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, not too much going
Grew
on.
up here.
A lot of good moves though.
Yeah, they didn't do too much.
A lot of good moves.
Okay, yeah, that's about all we got out of the NHL, other than our power rankings here for this week. Probably should have led off with this, but coming in at number 5, the Colorado Avalanche, followed by number 4, the Winnipeg Jets, number 3, the Vancouver Canucks, number 2, the New York Rangers, and coming in at number 1, the Florida Panthers. Ace alluded to this earlier, just keeping that top spot there. What are you guys thinking here about these power rankings here coming into this week?
Bruins are going to be back in it, I'm telling you. But no, other than that, some
Bruins-
tough things. Who else just missed, Mackie? The Stars. I mean, that's a good team. We mentioned
Stars,
small
the
move.
Jets in,
Yep.
Leafs, Hurricanes, obviously those Bruins. Yeah, I mean everyone's playing good hockey.
Can the Oilers get
right
back
now.
up there? You think you see they've adopted like a low scoring brand of hockey lately. Like they've been. I saw some stat the other day. I can't remember what exactly it was, but they're giving up like the most amount of goals per game over the last like 8 games or something like that.
Yeah, Oilers obviously had that rough start. They're just back to par at this point. They're keeping pace in that Pacific Division. Not really good. Not really looking to touch Canucks. I don't think they're 10 points back right now, but I mean, we know what that team can do come playoff time as well.
Remember when we projected like a few weeks ago? We were like, I think maybe at the halfway point. I think we said the Canucks might finish the season at the top. We were like, we bought into the hype a little bit. Now they could lose their top spot in the West. But you think it's going to be the Panthers, or you think someone can usurp their top spot in the NHL standings?
I think the Panthers are just too hot and heavy right now. I mean, nobody. They got what do they have? A 3-point lead in the Canucks right now. Yeah, I mean, everyone when you look at your schedule, the last team you want to see is the Panthers. I just think they have that edge over every
You know
single
who I
team.
still
in the
think
league.
it is though? The Avalanche. Like I don't want to see.
No, I see. I don't, man. I don't think they're as full as they've been in the past.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got to
They're
watch out for that
top-end
team.
talent.
McKinnon's been playing better than probably ever.
Yeah.
Obviously Makar as well, but I just that team doesn't. I don't know. They don't really scare me. I don't think they're getting out of the West.
Yeah, their depth isn't as good. You're right. I just see that so many star-studded names on that lineup. I'm like, geez, you're in for one at least.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But
I'm just hyped for the playoffs. Playoff hockey is so
we're
good.
so close. How many games away are we right now? Everybody's sitting at what, 64 games right now?
16 games.
Yeah.
You guys have 15.
Yeah, so what do we have? Like probably about a month left of regular season hockey here.
Just
Yeah,
about.
a month and a half, month and a week.
Everything's
a month and a week.
gonna start tightening up. You got to see those playoff seedings getting closer. You know what I hate though is if the Bruins and Leafs they do get that first round series, like their season series is already done. Like you should have a late game. I remember a couple of years ago, Huff got to go down to the Panthers game this past weekend. I was telling him all the stuff about it. A couple of years ago, I went to game 82, Battle of Florida. They were playing in the first round. It was like a 6-4 game. There was like 12 fights. It was insane to watch. So I want to see.
And then they get to go play 7.
Yeah, I want to see the bad blood get going. But last thing here, Mackie, your boy Matt Remp, he's probably gonna get kicked out of the league soon with the way he plays hockey. But I saw you see that video I sent in the chat? You see that video I sent in the chat? That guy that kicked his ass in like the AHL or juniors, he's coming up now too. So
Yeah.
what is it? The resurgence
That was
of
5
fighters?
years ago. The
resurgence.
guy was 16 years old. But
this happens every couple of years where there's a big hump in big bump in fighting.
Yeah, it's like
Listen,
It
man,
only lasts so long.
it was a dirty. It was okay. It was a dirty hit. He
It was
needed
a
to stop
reckless
him,
hit.
but he did
he has
not.
a
It
lot of
wasn't. It
those
wasn't.
though. He leads in people with their head down. He puts them into the
No,
board.
relax. It wasn't intentional. It was clearly not intentional. He was putting
How
his.
many times do you have to do it
I think it
unintentionally
was
though?
just reckless.
What do you mean? That's his first suspension. It's the
No,
first
I know, but
offense.
he's had a few controversial hits, hasn't he?
No, I
Already?
don't think
Not in
so.
the NHL, I don't
No, I
think.
thought he had that one a few weeks ago where he hit that guy coming into the wall. Maybe it was the Penguins. I thought it might have been against the Devils.
Oh, yeah, he clipped the guy. No, the guy just got injured. I mean, it was a
Yeah,
fine
yeah.
hit. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
But
but on the
I
scene
don't
with
know,
the
dude. He's
fighting too.
7'6", and
He's huge.
He's 7'6". His job is to be an enforcer. He's gonna go out there and be an
6'7".
enforcer. 6'7".
6'7".
He's 7'6".
I was gonna say, I'm like,
He's playing for the wrong New York team. He should be on the Knicks, dude. Come on.
But I mean, it wasn't intentional. He's not really a dirty player. He's out
Is he
there
any
doing
good?
his job. Dude, he's big and he got an assist
Better
the other
than
night.
Better than Maroon or Reeves. He's got to be better than Reeves, right?
He's better than Reeves easily. I would say he's better than Maroon as well, but I
Right
mean,
now, yeah.
yeah. But I mean,
Is he
I
going to
don't-
be
I
in the
don't hate him.
playoff roster, like night one of the playoffs? Is
That's
he
the
going to be in the
question. I
lineup?
don't know. It's gonna be very.
He's going to be one of those guys that doesn't start the series in the lineup, but he comes in games 3 through 5 when you need a presence.
No, I mean, no. I think he's gonna start in the lineup, and if he's just like not doing what he needs to do, he'll be
Depends
out
on the
quick.
matchup too. If you're playing a chippy big team, or if you're playing speed, he's got to sit on the bench. But if you're playing against big team, like even the Lightning, they used to be speed a few years ago. But I think if you got someone like the Canes, I don't think you see Rampy out there.
He's a big body in front of the net, though. I mean, last or 2 nights ago when we
The goal
played,
called
or
off.
3 nights ago when we played the Devils, well, that too, but he was in front of the net. The goalie can't see anything, and the guy took a shot from the point. Goalie never saw it. It was right in the back of the net. So I mean, his presence is
teach
definitely
size.
being felt.
Yeah.
His presence is definitely being felt out there.
Yeah, interesting. No, it's funny. Guys like that making a name for himself just by fighting. 20 years ago, you wouldn't even be talked about because everybody did it.
Right. But listen, any way to get out there, he's making his money. I bet you he's got a few endorsements under his belt now too.
Yeah, Mr. Black Eye. That's
For
what
sure.
he should trademark that one.
Very exciting, very fun to watch that Rangers team here. The Pens taking on the Rangers here this Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern. I'll be in attendance, trying to get Huff there, but he told me he's going to be golfing. I said, that's a bad idea.
He knows what the Penguins are doing in a couple months, Jesse. He's just getting ready for
I
it.
know, but it's St. Patrick's Day.
He's-
Like, let's go have some fun.
He's gonna miss Shesterkin front row to go shoot a 110. Come on, man.
Oh,
Right?
taking shots.
Yeah, he's not here to defend himself. Maybe I should
Right.
hold that one back. for next
0-1
week.
in the match, the Hit the Books match. Tyler Hoffnagel,
Yep.
Jesse Cox,
Yep.
0-1.
Tyler Huff is
You're right.
0-1.
You're right.
That's what he's doing. He's practicing.
He's like just
Yeah,
getting his
he's
reps
getting-
up.
he's
He's like
getting geared up.
Kobe, right?
Gotta get ready for next year.
Yeah, he's like Adam Sandler.
Yeah, 3 and 6.
Ugh.
Alrighty, boys. Lots of good stuff there out of the NHL. Let's do a little MLB talk here as the regular season opening day is approaching, just 2 weeks away, 14 days away for opening day. We got one set of news here, a movement looks like, and then I'm curious to hear what you guys like in the world coming up to the World Series. Aces, I just said the Boston
Bruins
Bruins.
are sick.
Boston Red Sox, and picture, I'm going to say Brian, but I think it might be
Brian Bello.
Brian
Bayo.
Brian Bello in agreement on a 6-year, $55 million deal to keep the young star in Boston for the upcoming season. Ace, is this something you wanted to see happen before this year started, or what are you thinking on this movement?
Yeah, I think the bigger move would have been extending Cassis, as he's only under contract for like one more year, and he's supposed to be the big guy jumping off the scene. But what has been the Red Sox downfall the last few years? Can't bring any pitching in, and this guy's homegrown talent. Pedro Martinez was talking him up a lot last year. He looked really good as a rookie. Kind of shot up that MLB prospect ranking board too last year. Wasn't that high before that, and then he just burst onto the scene. Looked great in the majors. Did a great job. And now we're going to give him that contract. If he pans out the way he's projected to be now, then that's a really good contract. But if he takes a step back or just stays the same and doesn't keep progressing, then you kind of overpaid. Kind of depends on his growth as a pitcher. But you got to make an investment. At least they finally made one. I mean, they're playing like a small market team the way they've been doing this offseason. So glad to see that. But going to have to see a lot more growth from him in this upcoming year. They're going to lean on him a lot with Giolito out for the season. I know we covered that a few weeks ago. He tore that, or he's getting Tommy John. Something's wrong with his arm, just the shoulder, something like that. But he's out for the season. So going to rely on Bayo, Pavetta, Cutter Crawford, some other prospects to come in and do the job. maybe they make another move, but I don't think so. They think they're a few years away. So this move sets us up for the future well.
Awesome. Good stuff there, Ace. Let's see what you guys are liking here coming into this opening day. I'm going to read through some of these World Series odds, see what you guys like. Leading off the pack is the Los Angeles Dodgers, plus 360 are the best odds I could find, followed by the Braves at plus 550. Houston Astros sticking in there at plus 850. Mackie, your New York Yankees at plus 1,000. The Baltimore Orioles at plus 1,400. The Phillies at 1,500. Rangers at 1,500. And the Toronto Blue Jays at a plus 2,000. To round out that top 8. What are you guys thinking here coming into this opening day? Again, just 14 days away for opening day. Anybody going to opening day? What are you guys thinking here for this World Series?
No, I'll get my baseball in during the summer for sure. But not my New York Yankees, but the Yankees did just lose Garrett Cole for at least a month or
Let's
two.
go. The guy's a loser.
So that's huge on
I
their
love
season.
him.
Probably the best
person.
pitcher in the MLB.
Yeah, well,
but
I get to watch the Red Sox rake off of him in the playoffs, and he gets all mad. But when he had to shave the beard going from Houston to New York Yankees, whenever you join the Yankees, go clean shaven and throw on the pinstripes. I don't like you. So you gotta keep it
it's
that way.
classy. It's classy. But no,
Loser.
that's a huge hit to the Yankee season. I know it's a long season. He'll be back, but I mean, not the start that they wanted. Obviously, they had those injuries last year with Judge.
That's their
And
problem, isn't it? It's
Rodon.
literally just
So
their health.
yeah, it's injuries, a lot of injuries. And then you have guys like Stanton batting 130. But
But even
other
their
than
staff
that,
last year, he was the only guy that could stay healthy. Now the one guy you could rely upon, done for the year. And now you have a lot of question marks of guys who should be good, who got paid a lot of money but can't stay on the field.
yeah. So I don't think the Yankees have much value this year. Dodgers at plus what 340. Holy
Take it
shit,
now.
that is insane.
That lineup,
Um,
Mackey,
it's only
Mookie
going to go up
Betts,
or it's only
Shohei
going to go
Ohtani,
down. That's for
back to
sure.
back.
But
Those
yeah,
Buccos at plus 20,000. There's some value there,
I
boys.
think there's value in those AL teams. And
There's
in
good
those
value
AL teams. I
hunting.
mean, you have the Braves and the Dodgers both sitting at under plus 600. You can get these values on these top end AL teams who just have to get there. They get there, you get a good series, and you get good value on that. So what'd you say? Astros plus 850. Obviously, there's always good value there. The Rangers can look to go back to back. Blue Jays plus 2,000. You can see something coming
You
from
want to
them, but
hear?
I don't
You
really
want to
see
hear
it.
one that
Good.
that always Mackey? I'm happy that you said that about the value because that's like exactly what I was thinking. I was like, it's Dodgers, Dodgers, Dodgers. If not, go value hunt. You're not. It's not worth it to take like the next few. I don't think. I don't think those teams are going to end up winning. If it's going to be a top end team, it's going to be the Los Angeles Dodgers, which I truly think they will. I've said on the podcast all year long. I should place a future on it. Maybe I'll do that right after this, but definitely will before the season starts. But yeah, I think you can value hunt someone that always comes to my mind, and their value just gets lower and lower throughout the season. It seems the Tampa Bay Rays, Jesse, what are they sitting at right now?
The Rays are at plus 3,500.
Exactly, and that's a team that only gets better and better as the year goes on. Their farm systems, they just develop people, and they come up and they're great. They have Junior Caminero coming up, another top prospect. They have loaded with top prospects that jump on the scene. I know the Wander Franco news hurt, and they lost Glasnow, but they just turn out prospects and they sell them. They're one of the best small market teams that's kind of grown out of a small market, in my opinion. That is always in the race. You know, the AL East will be tough though with the Yankees, star-studded lineup, Orioles and Jays, like Jesse said. Not my Red Sox this year, but you know, there's a lot of other teams like the Diamondbacks, someone that come to mind that had a good season last year. What about the Padres? I mean, those are two teams. Then you got the Twins that can always come out of the AL Central. You got the Twins and the Indians. I think those are two teams to look at. Um, Astros too, Phillies and Braves always right there. But I'm on the Dodgers. Like I'm not going to sell you on anything else. Value hunt if you want, but go with the Dodgers. At least have a ticket on it because you don't want to be the one missing out when they're so favored.
I kind of disagree, man. I feel like baseball's a sport where basically anybody can get hot and go on a run and win it. And a plus 340 value for a World Series winner before the season even starts, I just think there's no value in it. You can see injuries. Say Otani goes out.
Yeah,
Say
but they're
Freeman
so
goes out.
deep,
You
dude.
get two big
It's their best
injuries.
team in a while.
Yeah,
Their
it's
pitching
probably the
staff,
best.
is gross. Like Clayton
Well, that's
Kershaw,
that.
Walker Bueller, all the
You're
prospects,
saying their
James
pitching staff is
Paxton,
gross.
Tyler
I don't
Glasnow.
even. I think the lineup's better.
Yeah, I
I
know.
really do. I mean, you have that stretch
Yeah,
of the 2 through 5, even the 1 through 5, where
yeah.
you
You
all
can't
of
pitch
these
around
guys
them.
can bat 320.
Yeah.
All these guys can bat 320, especially when they're batting back to back to back to back. Um, this team is stacked top to bottom, but I mean, like people go cold. Teams go cold at the same time. Injuries
The way
happen.
I'm
There's
looking at it,
no
though,
value
like,
on plus
with
340.
worse teams
None.
sustaining injuries in the past too, with worse teams, they have always been in the playoffs, and some people are like, "They should have more World Series. They should have more World Series." Well, if they're there that whole time, then they added even more, I think, this year, because you basically added Walker Buehler as a pitcher. You added Glasnow, right? You added Ohtani, as a hitter. They added a few other they had James Paxton. They're getting all these young guys a year older too that were very good prospects. They had top I don't know how they're such a good team and have top prospects. Let me say that. But they're all coming on the scene now. Best Dodgers team this year in a while. There's no way they miss the playoffs. And then when they get to the playoffs, they're going to be the Grim Reaper, I think.
Well, there's absolutely 0 chance they miss the playoffs, but I don't know. I just don't see the value on it. I think you're better off getting them at plus 200 when the season or when the playoffs start when you see if their team's fully healthy or not.
I guess that's my better question is how you don't think the value drops quick like that quick?
I think by the time playoff starts, if all goes as planned,
Mm-hmm.
there won't be any more than like
Plus
plus
125.
I don't think they'll be that low. I think anything like plus 170.
Really?
You still have the Braves. The Braves are going to win
Yeah.
105 games too.
Braves are good, yeah.
So I mean, you gotta remember that. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think that.
So
can
you
see them.
think all right, so a better take is you think that there's better value, like it's going to be at or about the same at some point in the season for you to look at.
I don't think it gets higher than what it is now.
Okay.
But I just don't.
That's
I
why
don't
I'm like
think.
I got to have my ticket on plus
But
350 while I can.
that's saying no injuries.
Yeah. But I think they could sustain some because everybody's going to get some. But yeah,
It's just so hard in an MLB season. So many games taking a risk on a team so
but
far in advance.
they've done it so many years in a
You're not
row.
wrong.
162 games before they even have to touch.
How many years in a row have they
Yeah.
made the playoffs though? That's something.
No, making the playoffs isn't the thing. You have season-ending injuries. If one of Mookie, Freddie, or Ohtani go down, this team is completely
They're
different.
done.
Yeah, but the other teams too, like that, you could even more so. Like you could say that about any team though. So like then at
Right, but you're
at
not
that
taking the
token, you're
value of
not.
plus 330 to win the World
Yeah,
Series
yeah,
on the
it's
other
not bad. It's
teams.
not bad. I just think they're so loaded up. I like that Otani's going to be a DH only too. That's really nice to me. I want to see him
I think he's.
get a flip.
I think he should win the batting title this year. I think he's only focusing. I mean, he's making what $60 million. Well, he's only making $1 million a year right now, but he just signed a $1 billion contract. All you got to do is hit the damn ball. You better win.
Is he going to win that
batting.
home run title? I know we talked about a few weeks ago.
He
Great
better,
odds on
man.
it. Great
Better.
odds on it. That's the hit the books
You
play
expect-
is the Otani home run prop.
I think he'll definitely win that.
I can't wait to see him hitting it out in San Francisco for the Dodgers. Like that's a sick. There'll be a picturesque look there. But yeah, baseball season heating up. I've been catching some spring training here and there. I just like watching the top prospects. Jesse, I don't know if you've caught any of Skeens or is he not pitching yet? He's out for a bit, isn't he? Is he not starting to like?
He was in for a little bit. He looked all right. He was throwing some good pitches, and then I think they pulled him, and then they announced, "Hey, we're not putting you on the roster."
Yeah,
Yeah, they're developing him down low. We talked about it
Yeah.
last week.
gotcha.
But,
Yeah, I missed it last week.
they're not. Yeah, it's something to really be worried about with him.
Right.
There's a lot of good prospects coming up though right now. I got my dynasty baseball draft coming up this weekend, so
Hell
I'll
yeah.
let you guys know how that one goes. But got to do a minor league draft there. So this is really the time I dive into that. We'll get some more news.
That's
as it
gonna be
comes.
fun.
Yeah, March 20th though. We're a week away until the first MLB game of the season starts. I believe that's
2 weeks.
no. I believe March 20th, March 22nd, first game. International.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
What'd you say?
I always forget about those.
Yeah, I think there's a series like on the 20th or 22nd.
Beats me. Why does this only go to the 15th?
Yeah, let me see what he's got here. My buddy texted me the other day. The first game is March 20th, the Mexico game.
The Mexico game.
MLB Mexico Series 2024. We have
The
the
game is at 6:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Oh my God.
It's in Seoul, South Korea.
Oh, it's in South Korea, not in Mexico.
Oh, there's a Mexico series too. My buddy texted me the Mexico
It's in
series.
Seoul, South Korea. And the Dodgers
Jeez.
open up at minus 185 against the Padres.
On March
Glasnow
20th,
versus
right?
Darvish.
Yes, March
Yep.
20th.
Yeah, so literally 1 week away. So next week we'll have an official MLB game during the podcast. Or on the day of
Which
the
is
podcast.
so weird because there's preseason games that day.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah, because the other teams will play it out traditionally. Like, they're not
Like,
gonna
it's so
ruin the whole spring
stupid.
training league because that brings in a
And they're
ton of
d
money.
But why didn't they just make the
it
game
it's a two-game series too.
why didn't they make the games at the start of the regular season? Why
How
are they
about
doing it in
growing
the
the game,
preseason?
Mackie? Come on now, they gotta get those
It doesn't
new
that has
fans,
nothing to
new
do with growing the
dollars.
game, they're just changing the schedule, like, you're making regular season games in preseason.
Yeah, I hate that.
Why couldn't they just delay it 2
They did
weeks?
that before. I think they had an Australian series like a couple years ago. Might have been last year. But they always do this. It's like some random game too early in a different time zone. You
That's
don't even know
so
what's going
weird.
on, but it's already on the schedule. And
6:05 AM, I might wake up for that.
we're definitely throwing on. It's a good one to wake and
Oh,
cash
yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah.
Dodgers minus
Mad.
1.5.
The Yurfie.
Yeah. Yeah. Very excited for this upcoming MLB season. Like Ace said, just here a week until that first game, 2 weeks until opening day. So lots to look forward to as we continue to develop more here in the MLB. Now it's time to jump into the NFL here. Lots of news here as the free agency came and went.
Just do that last.
Yeah, I'm going to start from the bottom. Let's go through some of these trades or these free agencies and let's go through some of these dealings here and see what we can find, see what you guys think on these. First one here, the Houston Texans have accepted a trade acquiring star running back Joe Mixon from the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals will receive a 7th-round pick in return. What are you guys thinking about this Texans offense coming in the next season with this new pickup? Ace, what do you think?
Oh, Texans crushed free agency, trade deadline, off season so far to start. My number one team so far on the move. I can't believe Joe Mixon was made available. I know the Bengals went out and got a veteran back, and they have that young guy that they liked last year. I believe his name's Chase Brown, who kind of jumped on the scene. They got to alleviate some cap pressure too with all their receivers, quarterbacks getting big dollars. I personally told my brother, I was like, Joe Mixon should go to the Ravens should seek him out. Great scheme fit. I thought Aaron Jones or Joe Mixon to the Ravens would have been good. But Joe Mixon going to the Texans, even better. Deshaun Watson, I mean, not Deshaun Watson. Wow, thinking of him still on the Houston Texans. CJ Stroud, though, finally getting a legit running back. Joe Mixon in the passing game, too. A guy that has a nose for the end zone, relatively healthy, too. I mean, they crushed it. I'm excited to see him down there. I know we're going to take his anytime touchdown a lot on the card coming into the new year. That team's going to run the AFC South.
Yeah, I wanted to see Saquon go down there. Obviously, he went to the Eagles, and I didn't love that move. But Bengals kind of clearing house. I saw T. Higgins accept or ask for a trade. Tyler Boyd's out of there. They really only have Jamar and Joe at this point in that core offense they had. But yeah, I like this move. I think obviously you're adding a good running back like this to C.J. Stroud's offense. You saw what he did last year in his rookie season. You expect him to take even more jumps next year. This Texans offense is getting pretty damn good, and they're going to be pretty damn scary, especially in a weak division like that. We're seeing this collapse from the Jacksonville Jaguars over there. Um, I think this Texans offense is going to have a really good season. They can make a pretty deep run in that AFC.
I think so too. They kind of turned heads last year with their performance. Stroud turning into like the generational talent at QB. But Mixon, great ad there. I didn't think I'd see him on the block. I don't know about you, but that quick too, quick move right there. I mean, I don't even think they got enough for him. But running backs with the craziest market ever this offseason.
Alrighty, good stuff. Next up, the Los Angeles Chargers have cut wide receiver Mike Williams. This move frees up $20 million in cap space for the Chargers. Mike Williams has now become one of the top free agent wide receivers available. Any talks on that?
I hope my Patriots go give him a bag. No, I think we're gonna draft a wide receiver in the middling 2 to 4 rounds because this is like a Mackey big college football guy. This is a very heavy wide receiver draft. Like there's a lot of good wide receivers coming into the NFL. So I don't think he'll get paid as much as he would have in other years. Not only that, but there's other free agents that didn't get that much money. He's coming off of injury, but a big bodied receiver that's going to hit the market. I feel like there's going to be some suitors there. And watch him slip off the radar and the Chiefs go and grab him.
You could see the Chiefs grab him. He'd be a good fit for them. This is obviously a great option. He could be a number one. You'd rather see him as a strong number two, but this is definitely going to be a top free agent that a lot of teams can target. Kansas City would definitely love to have him with their receiving core they got over there. Another team, maybe even like the Bucks. Bucks could take him for number 2 behind Mike Evans, but obviously they just
You
made
think
that
he
big
chases a
sign.
bag though?
Yeah, I think he could want some money, so I don't think
Come to
Tampa
New
would
England.
offer him
Come
one.
on, we'll
But
take
I
you.
mean, whatever he's offered,
Right? I mean, he's young too, relatively young, but I just like that size. Like I said earlier, you can't teach size, skill too. A touchdown machine when he's healthy, and I think he could. He's still not playing his best football, but the injury history does scare me a bit. But interesting move. I guess they think they're gonna roll with Quentin Johnson, huh?
yeah. I mean, I think he gets a little too much hate
Yeah,
for
he
that.
can't be as
To be
bad as he was
honest.
last year. Rookie
Yeah.
woes. I'll give him the
Yeah,
pass.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, only up from there. I mean, maybe he can get a few more targets now, maybe be a little more involved in that offense, and he can maybe make a few strides. You have that quarterback. You can't ask for much more of a quarterback than Justin Herbert in the regular season, right?
Yeah, new quarterback, new coach. I also I like that guy Josh Palmer they have out there as depth too. I thought they had good depth last year. I had him on the card a few times if you remember. Like his props, like touchdown receiving. When Mike Williams was out, Keenan Allen was out, he stepped up and looked like a 1-2 receiver, you know. So they have depth out there, and they cleared out Eckler, they cleared out Mike Williams. I mean, it's gonna be a new look
I think they
Chargers
made
team.
some good moves.
They're ready to make
I
some
think they
deals
make
too. They're ready to make some deals. They want to get rid of Bosa. They want to get rid of Mac. Chargers are changing, clearing out house a bit, changing up that
what's
scenery.
not working. I mean, you got to clear out what's not working. I think it's a good idea. Try to build around. Obviously, you cleared out Brandon Staley as well, so you want to build around Herbert right now. Doesn't work, then maybe you got to move on from your quarterback, but you got to do something. Herbert's been kind of putting up some crazy
He's a
numbers.
good quarterback. Gotta
Hasn't
fucking
hasn't seen
you
any
gotta
success, so you
change
got to try.
something.
You got to build the best team around him. Try to get the most out of him.
Awesome, boys. Lots of good stuff there. Tennessee Titans here next. Star wide receiver Calvin Ridley has signed a 4-year, $92 million deal with the Titans. Ridley played with Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville last year. He will have the chance to play alongside DeAndre Hopkins in Tennessee. Plus, the Titans have also signed former Cowboys running back Tony Pollard, 3-year, $24 million deal. Derrick Henry, now a free agent. How much of a drop off is this for Tennessee? Mackie, a former Cowboy there. What do you think?
Yeah, obviously whenever you have to move on from Derrick Henry, you're most likely not going to upgrade, and they obviously didn't here. Tony Pollard had a lot of expectations going into last season, didn't really meet any of them. Couldn't take the load as the number one back, and Dallas obviously had to move on from him. But maybe he can get a new start here. Obviously, they have these two nice wide receivers on Tennessee. Maybe Will Levis can have a nice sophomore year breakout season. They just got Mason Rudolph as a backup. Obviously, we've seen him as a backup last year, and he actually played pretty well. So Will Levis isn't getting the job done. They have a decent backup option, but I don't think Tennessee is making much noise. I just think they have some nice key players. Maybe they could start to build around it. Ace, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I think they're going to be the bottom dwellers in the division for sure. But I actually don't think they did a poor job replacing Derrick Henry. I, I said this to my brother when they signed the like big Ravens fan, as we know. Said this to him when they signed Derrick Henry. I like that the Titans let him go. Like I don't know how much tread is left on those tires. Slow legs, still the king. Got to respect them. He pounds the rock well. I think the Titans were trying to get away from the power run game, and that's something that the Dallas Cowboys do. I don't think Tony Pollard was the best scheme fit for the Dallas Cowboys. I know they're fast, but they like to run the ball heavy up the middle. Tony Pollard, not one of those guys to do that. He's more speed, a little receiving back, bounce it out to the outside. I think he's going to do this on that Titans team. He also has Tyjae Spears, so he actually has a better backup here than he did in Dallas. That guy kind of burst on the scene as a rookie too. Took a lot of snaps from Derrick Henry, so he's going to be able to split his workload a little bit more like he's used to when he's most effective. Pollard, Ridley just chasing the bag for sure. He was on the Jacksonville Jaguars, joined a fellow division mate in the Tennessee Titans just to get paid more money. Maybe he has more gambling debt. I think he cares about going to the casino more than he does about winning football games. Talented receiver, but not the guy I want on my team. Happy the Patriots stayed away. But I can't believe he left Trevor Lawrence after the connection they had. I think there's only bound for more success in the future. That Jaguars team had a tough season last year. I think they're going to be better next year. But I can't believe you go to the Tennessee Titans. That just tells me all I need to know about Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's just chasing that bag. That's why he was gambling while he had an NFL contract. But um, good receiver. Obviously, a nice another option over there for Will Levis. We saw some nice. I don't even know what the word is. We saw some nice strides from Will Levis
Yeah, he
last
has a
year.
big arm too, and
Um,
Ridley can go up and get it.
yeah, so maybe they can make some noise this year. I mean, it's not the strongest division over there, obviously. We saw the
Bottom
Texans were on the
dwellers,
scene,
I'm
but
telling you.
yeah, they probably will be. But you know,
You lose
they
Mike
obviously
Vrabel
moved on.
too. That's probably the biggest thing.
That's the big one. That's what I was gonna say. They don't have that star coach anymore. So Titans could be in for a rough year.
Alrighty. Let's keep it going here. Christian Watkins has signed a 4-year deal worth up to $110 million with the Las Vegas Raiders. This deal includes $84.75 million in guaranteed money. Wilkins will join Max Crosby on the Raiders defensive line. Any comment on that D-line duo there?
Yeah, I like that move getting Christian Wilkins because what has been the Achilles heel of the Raiders recently? I mean, I know there's a lot of them you could point to, but I still think it's the defense. They haven't had a good defense since I don't know when. And they paid Gardner Minshew to come sling the rock on the other side. I don't know if they're going with him or Aiden O'Connell or even drafting someone. But with the contract they gave him, I think it's going to be Minshew. But Christian Wilkins coming in, getting the bag, leaving Miami. That is a big loss for Miami. Um, but he deserves it. He's what, a Clemson product, I want to say. But he's a Pro Bowler, star D tackle. He's going to help make some noise. And now you got to cover him, like you said, Jesse. Max Crosby alongside him finally has some help, take away some of that protection on the other side. But I still don't think that moves the needle too much for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Raiders aren't making any noise. Good for him getting his money, but I'm sure they'll do fine over there. That defense will do fine, but they're not making any noise in that division or in that conference.
Wilkins, do you think his numbers go up or down? They might go up a little bit with Max Crosby, but now that he's got that bag, I mean, what does he have to play for?
He's got the bag now. You see a lot of players like him just you're out in Vegas now. He's got the $110 million deal. He's out in Las Vegas.
He's better
You could
call up
see a
Calvin
big
Ridley now to come hang out with him.
you could see a big drop off from a guy like him.
Good move, though. I think that's a good move. Good guy to go pay. Should be a centerpiece of your defense because they, besides Crosby, they literally had nobody. So you need to give somebody another star player on that side of the ball.
Good stuff. Let's keep it moving here. Free agent running back Josh Jacobs is signing a deal with the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Christian Watson, Dube, Jalen Reed. What do you guys think about this Packers team in the NFC North?
Love that move. Surprising. I don't know, Mac. Was that surprising to you that they got rid of Jones after they were trying to pay him or restructure his deal because they paid him a lot of money a few years ago? Then they bring in Jacobs and then they trade Jones. I mean, kind of crazy.
Yeah, weird move. I think I like Jacobs more, to be honest. I think Jacobs is a more trustworthy option, but you can't go wrong with Aaron Jones as well. He's over there in Minnesota now, right?
Yeah, but the thing is with Aaron Jones, he was always on the injury table. He looked great in that playoff win over the Cowboys. When he's on the field healthy, he's a great running back. Injured way too often, especially when he's at his best. And I think that the Packers truly want to get back to that power run. They've tried to do it with AJ Dillon. He was good the first year. That guy fell off a cliff. He's kind of like a fullback now, in my opinion. His feet are stuck in the mud. Now you got Josh Jacobs who can really power run, make them respect the run, put guys in the box against the Packers. Jordan Love, who's a great quarterback, he really came into his own. I think this might be the strongest team in the NFC North going into the next season. I was not a believer this year, but he's got those weapons on the outside. Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, and the other young guy they drafted last year. I think Love's going to be pushing for the division this year. I'm just super excited for the Lions Packers matchup now that they have Jacobs. They got Xavier McKinney too. I thought that was an insane move to add him to the defensive side of the ball. I think this Packers team's destined for success. Strong names on both sides. Young offense with a proven mentality. Go get Josh Jacobs. Now they actually believe it, proved it, believed it. Let's see what the Packers got this year.
Yeah, let's see what Jordan Love could do. For sure. I like that. I like that Packers team. They'll definitely be in the mix of it. With those Lions.
Jordan
I don't
Love's
think
got to
the
be one of the
Vikings are gonna
best
be.
young quarterbacks there is right now.
But like, here's the thing about that. Before the playoff run, were we saying any of that?
You
This is
guys,
this
you
this
guys
is
were. I
this
didn't want to buy in on it yet.
not really. It wasn't me. I was not high
Huff,
on him
I think
until
it's Huff.
he spanked the Cowboys. I'll say that. I was never high on Jordan Love before the season started. I've said it. I've eaten my words a few times, but I feel like we saw this with Trevor Lawrence last year. Very mediocre start to the season. Very finds a way, goes on a little stretch, finds a way to win the division 9-8, gets into the playoffs, comes back from 30-0 at halftime, gets a playoff win, and everyone the next season is like they're the favorites. They're minus 120 to win the division. They come in and they end up having a losing record. They underachieve like crazy. You could see the same
That's a
exact thing
good
from this
point.
Packers team where Jordan Love just kind of. Don't get me wrong. I don't think Jordan Love's the problem. Would be the problem if they ended
You
up
just don't
losing.
want it. You don't
But
want to over exaggerate him, right?
I don't want to over exaggerate on this team when they got one playoff win
But I will say this:
and like
I
three good
like
games
the
before
team that
that.
they built around them. elite O-line that they've had for years, right? Then they added Watson, Jaden Reed came out of nowhere how good he is. Dobbs, what's the other name of the young receiver? Is it Nixon? I don't know. The other young receiver in
They
Jaden
had
Reed's.
Christian Watson, but
No, there's
or they still have Christian
yeah, the
Watson.
one with Jaden Reed's class though last year kind of burst onto the scene. But then adding Josh Jacobs, now you have a legitimate run game. But on the other side of the ball, you have Jair Alexander, you have Rashawn Gary, you just brought in Xavier McKinney. Like there's big names. Not to mention Matt LaFleur is a great head coach. He's been doing it. I mean, the whole time he's been there. And that organization, the Packers mentality, I just like what this group has. Jordan Love learned from Aaron Rodgers. And the only difference I'm going to say from that Trevor Lawrence thing is we're in the Green Bay Packers cycle. Like Jordan Love's got to be good, right? He's got to win one. So I like what they did. Adding Josh Jacobs, great move. Great move, I think. Very steady running back, unlike Jones Dillon combo. And Xavier McKinney at defense. I mean, great add.
No, I definitely agree. I think they're gonna have a good year this year, but I just didn't want to jump the gun and
Yeah.
just be like, yeah, this team is destined for an NFC
They're going to
North
have a
championship
shootout
this year.
with the Lions.
I think that they could be a very good team this year. I'm just not gonna jump the gun on it yet. I could also see them missing the playoffs.
Yeah. A lot to see, but
I expect
a
them.
young
I
team with
expect
high
them.
expectations now, I think.
I expect them to make the playoffs, though. I do. I think Jordan Love is going to be very good in this league.
Especially with Jacobs, that play action, the Watson, Dobbs, and Reed. It's going to look nice.
Cool. Alrighty, next up here, we got Huff back with us as we continue through this NFL free agency. Coming up next here, the Cleveland Browns acquired wide receiver Jerry Jeudy from the Denver Broncos in exchange for a 2024 4th and 6th round draft picks. Can this Browns team go on a run this season with Jeudy, Cooper, Watson, and a healthy Nick Chubb? What are you guys thinking?
Well, with one of the best defenses in the league, I think we've seen that this team can strive. They made the playoffs last year, with Joe Flacco
Quarterback
and
is
a
the
bunch
issue.
and no Nick Chubb, but I
I
think
like
they
the backup. I like the ad of Jameis Winston. I'm just gonna come right
Yeah,
out
but
and
he
say it. I
sucks.
like
He
them
sucks.
coming, dude.
come
With that
on,
kind, he's
man.
never had weapons like that. He could play. I'm telling you, he's not gonna be the worst
He
quarterback that
sucks.
fills in for their starter.
Joe Flacco would have been better to keep around.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think so.
You're
This-
you- where does this come
Jameis
from? with
Winston
Jameis
is Mr.
Winston?
Interception. Joe Flacco just wins
just-
football games.
I know. What you mean. I mean, I know what you're saying. It's more. I just feel like
Guy's
Jameis
looser with the football than fucking.
30.
I trust Deshaun
What do you have? The
Watson.
35
Not gonna
touchdown.
say.
Well, yeah. I mean, you want Deshaun Watson under center. You're paying him what 250
He's
million
not even
dollars,
good. He's not even good.
No,
He's not that money good, but he's better than Jameis Winston.
Yeah,
I do
yeah,
think
yeah.
that I do think them getting Judy is a pretty big move. You have him, Cooper, and then obviously no one knows
Elijah
how healthy
Moore.
Nick Chubb's going to be. Obviously that was an early season injury, so you think that he's going to be good to go for the start of the season. But will he look like himself anytime a running back has an injury like that? It's always interesting to see how they come back.
The whole team though. Now you have Jerry Jeudy guys on the injury cart more than like I don't know, and then you got Nick Chubb coming off of the most gruesome injury of his career. You got Deshaun Watson who can't get a massage, so he's always feeling some sort of pain. I mean, they can't stay on the field. I don't know how they're going to be able to compete in one of the toughest divisions in the league.
Yeah,
not sold on
I
that
agree.
team.
I think it's going to be tough.
I mean, that defense, Mackie, you got me to buy in on it. That defense is legit. They lost a couple of pieces though. I don't know if you noticed that. Lost a couple of pieces, so I'm eager to see if they are able to stay at the top of the standings yet again defensively. But I project them to finish in the basement of the AFC North next year. I really do. I think they're the only team that ends up missing the playoffs from the AFC North as well. Bengals, I mean, they keep slipping and more in my mind though. I don't, but like I have so much faith in Joe Burrow. If he's healthy, I think he's such a good quarterback that he's going to will his team to the playoffs. Not going to hear many moves about them, by the way. Might as well touch on that while we're there. I mean, the cleaning of the house, we talked about that a little bit, Huff, before you got on, but what are they spending money on besides Joe Burrow? Like, are they investing in their O-line and defense?
I don't really know what's going on over there in Cincinnati. Obviously, I mean they got what's his name, Geno Stone off the Ravens. That's about the only thing they did in free agency. They let Mixon go. T. Higgins requests a trade. I mean, it's really just Jamar Chase and
They added Mike Gesicki.
I saw Zach Moss. That was their big splash running back.
Well,
That's who
they like that
replaced
young
Mixon
guy,
with.
Chase Brown. I don't know if you remember watching him last year. He had juice in his legs, a little running back, but he's not. Zach Moss is going to pound the rock for them, but Chase Brown's kind of dynamic. no big names. I thought they would add some more, at least on defense or something, though. But we'll
Yeah,
have to see. I
I
mean,
don't know what's going on over there. I like it
they're
as a
getting ready
Steeler
to
fan.
pay Jamar Chase. Probably that's what it is.
Everyone was saying, did you see what Jamar Chase tweeted? Like, oh, the story would be
Justin
amazing,
Jefferson to bring
basically
in.
hinting at that he's coming there. And it's like,
I mean, are they clearing roster for him?
I don't know, dude. The Vikings then they said we're not looking to trade him. So
Jettas
that's
is
basically
not
them.
going anywhere.
That's basically the Vikings
He's
saying
playing with
it's gonna
Sam
take 2
Darnold.
first-round picks or 3 first-round picks.
Justin Jefferson, you think he's going to be playing with Sam Darnold? They just added Aaron Jones, but I know they added Sam Darnold. He's the only quarterback on their roster, right?
Yeah, I mean him and Dobbs.
Do they even have Dobbs
I
anymore?
don't think
though?
they have Dobbs anymore.
Yeah, it's the
I
Sam
mean
Darnold show.
I know the Vikings are up there. They think they're one of those teams that could make a kind of a reach on a quarterback to try to get someone.
Michael Penix or a Bo Nix or JJ McCarthy.
They're gonna get a Dak next year when Jerry Jones doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Man, he's so disappointed in these Cowboys. Imagine. At least we have a plan moving forward. Draft capital, cap space, and youth.
Cowboys usually the ones making all these big signings.
They signed a long snapper, didn't they?
Yeah,
We have an
Saw that.
owner with more dementia than our president.
it's a fair point.
Wow. Tough. Imagine. You remember the Mackey that was at the AT&T Stadium dancing around to the Cowboy song? Like wearing his
Don't try to act.
wearing his Ezekiel
I
Elliott
am
jersey.
the most realistic Cowboys fan ever. Don't try to act like I'm delusional.
No,
I
I
get
know,
it.
but-
We're a regular season team. We still
Dude,
smoked you by 45.
You guys
Yeah, you
can't
did. Hang that
in
one
the-
up.
in the Cowboys sense, like they're not signing people. I think they're what's the deal? Mackie, is CD a free agent next year? And same with Micah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they have to watch what kind of contracts they give out, or they're not gonna be able to pay both of them.
Listen,
That's why
bro,
they
the
don't have a running
fucking
back.
roster is built for a championship. You have
Mackie,
a
who's your
roster for
running
a
back?
championship. Right now, Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah, so they're gonna
Yeah,
draft
We're
him.
probably gonna get either JK or honestly, I think we'll just get JK. But I've also heard they're trying to draft Blake Corum.
That'd be a good one.
I'd rather J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, he's literally been injured every year of his career though.
Yeah, we got to do something.
I just remember seeing those clips. NFC East. You see all these moves by the team. I'm swiping. That says Cowboys, a long snapper. I'm like, oh, that's great.
Yeah, get him back. Yeah, you fucking idiot. Move on from
What a
Cowboys
move.
right now.
Should have just paid Tony Pollard a little bit extra, snap the ball, and then he can run it every time too.
Said move on.
You got
That's a
that
good
one,
point. Yeah, true. It's true. It's literally true. He ended his career in Dallas that way.
That's a terrible last play.
The good thing is, at least they fired that coach, right? Oh, they didn't. Bill Belichick's still out there on the block. Could have brought him in. I don't understand what they're doing.
Move on.
Mike Vrabel. We just finished up with the Browns.
Alrighty, next point up here. The quarterback, Baker Mayfield, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have agreed to a new 3-year deal worth up to $100 million. Mayfield signed a 1-year deal with Tampa last season and bet on himself. Now Mayfield has found himself a home for the next 3 seasons in the NFC South. Can Baker take this team to back-to-back playoffs this year? What are you guys thinking?
Yes,
Listen, just
Baker
clap it up.
Mayfield, certified dog.
Clap it up for Baker Mayfield. Get this guy his money. He did what he needed to do. This guy has
I
been
wish he came to
counted
New
out
England.
time after time, and he continues to prove the haters wrong. That got a playoff win, $100 million deal. Pay this man his money.
That's the guy I want on my roster. Like we were talking about Calvin Ridley earlier, Huff. It's like that's not a guy I want on my team. He's just chasing the bag, flipping divisional teams. He doesn't care about winning the game. He's just caring about the check he cashes. Baker Mayfield is a guy that puts everything into it. He gives you everything he's got on and off the field. Great leader. And he gets to the playoffs with chips against the wall, even when it's not the best situation. I feel like he's only getting better with age. He's like a fine wine, Baker Mayfield is. Expect him to have a good year once again. Mike Evans sticking around with him too. Love to see that. I think this Bucs team in a weak division once again can make some noise. Weak conference, weak division. One of the better quarterbacks in the NFC, to be honest. I feel like he's coming off of this year's version of Geno Smith. I feel like everybody's giving Baker Mayfield those vibes.
That's a good comparison.
Like Geno had last year coming off that Seahawks playoff appearance.
Did Geno win a playoff game?
I don't know. He's in a tougher division though, didn't he?
Yeah, I think they drew the Rams in the first round and lost, or the Niners. It was the Niners. It was
No,
the Niners. It was
no,
the
yeah, the
Niners.
Rams played the Lions.
The
It was the
divisional.
Niners.
Yeah. But no, Baker Mayfield, he's gonna keep slinging and doing his thing. I think he's only gonna get better. I don't know about you guys.
Do you think they win the division?
Yeah,
I think the
I'm eager to
Falcons are
see the
overrated, I'll
Falcons.
say
Yeah.
that.
You think
I'll
they're
say that.
overrated?
I don't know. The Falcons may still win the division, but I think they're a bit overrated.
Their defense is good.
Being talked about a
Yeah,
powerhouse team down there with Kyle Pitts in the damn graphic. Like, relax.
Yeah, but Rudolph, I mean, a real quarterback. They actually have a real quarterback playing now. I know he has one playoff win. Cam Newton was going off on his podcast about him, but they're bringing in Darnell Mooney too. So you have Mooney and what's his name on the outside, London, with Bijan and Kyle Pitts. It's not a bad tandem. Kirk Cousins can work with that.
It's a bad division. The Saints haven't done anything except lose guys. They just really,
Yeah.
I mean, they released Michael Thomas today. That's not a big thing. He doesn't even play.
They're in the
like,
gutter.
Saints are in the gutter. Panthers are in the gutter. I think both of these teams are pretty similar, honestly.
Yeah, and I like
Yeah, I think
Baker
they'll be-
Mayfield over Kirk Cousins, to be honest.
I think I'm going Kirk over Baker, but it's really close.
He's coming off an ACL
Baker has more
tear, though.
playoff wins. If you want to play that card.
The injury is just tough for me. But I don't know. I'm expecting big things from this offense, but I could see it going south quick too. Coming off of an injury, Kyle Pitts. How many more excuses? This has got to be his last chance. If he doesn't produce this year, he's not good.
I've
I'm
been
a fan
saying
of
it for
Kyle
2
Pitts.
years.
I'm a fan
Yeah.
of him too. I'm a big
Yeah,
fan.
you're
I
the
loved
one-
him
you're
at
the one that
Florida.
backs him up.
I loved him in college, so I'm thinking it's the quarterback. But now we get an actual look at it, and I'll give you my real take
Yeah.
after we see it.
He was. I remember making a hot take that Freiermuth was going to be a better tight end than him, and I'm looking pretty on that take.
Yeah, but
Whereas
like, hey,
neither of them have
but
had
now-
real quarterbacks yet.
now
so
with Kirk
this year,
Cousins,
the
though,
excuse is
Huff,
up.
I think Pitts is going to be able to jump off the scene a bit this year.
Disagree. I think he's a terrible route runner, but we'll see. I've been a hater since day one on him.
Freiermuth's just more of a true tight end. So like you're talking like tight end position, tight end play. I feel like you're going to get better film out of Freiermuth, but I agree, Mackie.
It's
I
like a
just
wide
feel like he was
receiver.
overhyped. Yeah. He's like a wide receiver that like Mackie he can't run routes.
He's literally just a mismatch.
A wide receiver that can't run routes. He's a wide
He's
receiver
literally just
playing tight end.
that's
can't
why
run
he's so
routes.
good. He's just a mismatch though, because he's got speed
Yeah,
and
like-
height.
That's kind of like what Kelsey is. Kelsey just kind of runs around until he gets open, but he's so good at it that it works.
And he can block like
He
a
can block
lineman.
the hell out of it.
That's the main thing about it is that he
He's
kind
That's
of
like why the Patriots brought back Hunter Henry. Like, we have a shit left tackle, so if you get a rookie quarterback, get one of the best blocking tight ends and put him right next to that guy.
yeah, 6 linemen.
Alrighty, next one up here. Chris Jones and the Kansas City Chiefs have agreed to a 5-year deal worth $95 million in guaranteed money. The 3-time Super Bowl champion has become the highest-paid defensive tackle in NFL history. What are you guys thinking about this here in the Chiefs?
I don't think there's any.
I don't
I
understand. I just don't understand.
defensive tackle in NFL history that's had the accolades that he has at this point of his career. Obviously, we know the team that he's on, but you knew he was getting that tagline: highest paid nose tackle or highest paid defensive tackle in NFL history. 3-time Super Bowl champion in what, 7 years, 6 years? So
Well,
I mean-
why didn't they just do it last year? I mean, they made him hold out and everything just to give him a 1-year deal, just to extend him for 5 years after another championship.
I think he was partially kind of betting on himself too. He kind of liked the 1-year deal. You know what I mean? And then you sign this huge deal after you win a Super Bowl. Guys do that all. The guys do
Yeah,
that all
but
the
he just won a Super Bowl. That's what he wanted. That's why he sat out the first game. Is because he ended up.
Well,
I think he ended up settling for that 1-year deal.
Well, they franchise tagged him, so that's why he got the huge contract, because you get the top 3% of the highest 3 paid guys in your, or the average of the highest 3 paid guys at your position when you get franchise tagged. That's why, like when T. Higgins got franchise tagged, he was going to get paid $21 million by the Bengals this year, and he's requesting a trade because he wants a long-term deal. He doesn't want to do the 1-year thing. Because receivers are way more likely to get tear a knee or like.
They get
As
injured
physical as it
second
is being a
most.
lineman, like they bang their fingers break and shit. Like they don't really get like the crazy knee injuries. I guess like TJ Watt, just his shoulder pops out of place every other play. But like I feel like that's more of like a bad shoulder thing than like that actually happens.
But yeah, Chris Jones obviously well
You
deserved.
got to keep Chris Jones if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. We all knew he was staying. That was my point. Like,
I truly did not think he was staying. I didn't think they were
I
going to
don't
give him the
think he
money
was. I
because
didn't think he
what
was
Mackie
staying.
said.
really?
I thought they would have did it last year if they wanted him that bad, but like now that I see they did this, that's why they did it.
This went back
Right.
to back. I mean,
They
he's
got
the
another
focal
year.
point of
I
it.
think they got another year out of him. They got another championship out of him. Now they can let him go. Like
Low-key, I
maybe
feel like
again.
the way they look at it, though, I mean, look at what they did with Mahomes. They kept him on the offense. I know they have Kelsey, but besides that, they stripped everything around him, and they paid that guy a ton of money to be the quarterback. And they're going to do the same on defense and let Chris Jones just run free and then just make do with what you got around him because he's that good. He was a game breaker in the Super Bowl, too. I mean, the whole playoff run, he was the game breaker on that side of the ball.
Yeah.
Can't get rid of your leader after back-to-back rings.
Lots of good stuff there coming out of the Chiefs and Chiefs land here. Next up, the Colts and wide receiver Michael Pittman have agreed to terms on a 3-year, $70 million deal. Can Richardson, Pittman, Jonathan Taylor, and this young Colts core compete in the AFC South this upcoming season? Ace, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll let these guys take on some of the Colts talk, but I'll say one thing. I was really hoping that Pittman Jr. would hit the open market. I thought we'd give him good money and take him in. I think he's going to turn into one of the better receivers in the league. He's had a really weird career to start with his quarterback play. He hasn't had consistent quarterback play since he's been in the NFL. But former NFL great son, he's just great. I like Michael Pittman. Smart move by the Colts to bring him back, and he's worth that money. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about him coming back and what the Colts can do this year.
I'm big on Richardson. So you guys think? I mean, I think I'm not big on this Jaguars team. I know the Jaguars are having great free agency, so we'll see how that all works. They just lost Ridley. Well, they've added a bunch of guys on the defensive side of the ball. We'll see how that works out for them. We know what the Titans have done. They add Calvin Ridley. They get Mason Rudolph. I don't think that makes them that much better losing King Henry, but I think this Colts team can compete and be a wild card team. Personally, I think they're one of those teams. They were on the bubble last year. They didn't make it, right? The Steelers edged them out. That was right. Yeah, Steelers got that last playoff spot. They were competing with the Colts. They lost in Indianapolis. That looked like it was going to be a huge one. We end up winning out, getting in. I think this Colts team, with the biggest asterisk, is if Anthony Richardson's going to stop taking those big hits, stop putting himself in that position. Because, I mean, you saw this happen to RG3, all these young quarterbacks. I really hope he isn't the next one.
I was going to call him RG3 as a joke. I was going to say RG3. I mean, Anthony Richardson. I'm so high on him too, but I just feel like it's another walking injury wait to happen. Like, I am literally expecting him to miss games this season. I don't know about you, but I'm expecting him to play great when he's in him.
Dude, Minshew was such a good backup for him because you knew he was going to play, and when he comes in, he's literally just a different form. Like, you're going to get almost the same result. Like, Anthony Richardson has a way higher ceiling. Don't get me wrong.
Minshew's your prototypical backup QB.
Literally. That's why the Raiders were like, fuck it, we'll draft someone or we'll trade for, you know what I mean, Fields after the price goes down, and then we still have Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, it's like us getting Brissett. Those guys are just safety nets. But Anthony Richardson, hope he can stay healthy. Mackie, what do you think about these Colts coming into the new season? Can they compete for a wild card like Huff thinks? I think they could too.
I don't think they can compete for a wild card because I think whoever wins this division or whoever doesn't win this division is not going to make the playoffs. I'm not as high as on Anthony Richardson as you guys are. I think that if he wants to stay in this league, he's going to have to change his play style, and his play style is what keeps him in this league. So it's kind of contradicting right there. We saw he got injured 3 times in the first 4 games last year. The last one ended up being season-ending. But if he can adjust, I mean, I'll give it to him. I think they can maybe make a push, maybe get 9 wins, make a push for that last playoff spot or something. But I don't see this team making any noise. I like Michael Pittman too, but I don't know. I don't think so.
That's what everyone said about Lamar, though. Like, when he was younger, they were like, dude, if he doesn't stop running around, he's just going to get hurt all the time. Obviously, Lamar's had his injuries, but the key is you can never stop the non-contact injuries. That's going to happen to everyone. Every time they play at MetLife, there's going to be one. So it's like you're never going to stop the guys tearing or blowing up their knees. It's more whenever you're on a 15-yard run, you already have the first down, just go out of bounds. Like, you don't need that safety to pop you.
Yeah, like he always gets hurt going into the end zone.
Yeah, like, dude, you have Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. Like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, like, you don't need to make everything happen, especially in, like, week 1 or week 2. Like, stop doing that then.
Literally.
Maybe in the playoffs.
Yeah, you're just doing too much. Exactly. In the playoffs,
even if he gets to the playoffs, he's gonna do too much, and that's when RG3 ended his career, basically, too. So, like,
yeah,
I agree with Mackie. It's tough because his play style is what makes him good, is what keeps him in the league, and what makes him an X factor. But if he can't do that, he's gonna stay healthy. I
His
don't know. Tough
size
call.
is just like he literally looks like Cam Newton out there.
Yeah, he's got to run like not like Josh Allen, I guess. He's got to run like Patrick Mahomes. That guy runs well, avoids contact well, but still picks
Yeah.
up meaningful yards.
Or like Russ, when Russ was younger. Russ used to never take hits. He'd
Yeah,
just go out of bounds, like
he
7 yards
Russ
downfield.
scrambled though. He didn't run.
Yeah, he didn't run. Yeah, you're right. That's
I
kind of what
think- I
Mahomes
think-
does. I don't really say Mahomes runs.
Yeah,
he
he
just
scrambles.
extends plays and scrambles.
Josh Allen and Anthony Richardson run the same way. Like they run head down.
Yeah, they just want to run through you, and it's like, dude, you doing too much. These guys are
If
NFL
you're a running
linebackers
QB, I
that
guess
want to
be like
kill you.
Kyler Murray and Lamar. They get out of the way of everything.
Yeah, Kyler's a good example too. He's so scared to get hit.
Yeah. But no, that'll be interesting. Colts team's gonna be feisty. We'll get some more good talk on them coming into the year, but good move to retain Pittman.
Let's keep it moving here. Saquon Barkley has reached an agreement with the Eagles on a 3-year, $37.75 million deal. Contract should be worth up to $46.75 million and includes $26 million guaranteed at signing. Eagles offense now consists of Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, and Saquon Barkley. How far can this team go with this new this upper echelon offense and losing players like Jason Kelce?
This
I
is
don't
a
think
tough
this
one.
is gonna. I don't think this is gonna make or break this Eagles team. I think this Eagles team goes a lot deeper than a running back problem. I don't think they really have an identity, and that's what came to the problem towards the end of the season last year. Is that they wanted to keep rolling with what they were rolling with, and Jalen Hurts has kind of stopped performing at the level that he was in the beginning of the season. Teams started catching up on how they were playing, and they just had zero adjustments. There was probably problems in the locker room. Everything just went out the window. So I think that this team, before Saquon Barkley, had the potential to make a Super Bowl. But is everything going to come together? I don't know. Huff, what do you think?
Oh,
Breaking news:
before you
Joe
go, guess
Flacco
what?
to the Indianapolis Colts.
That's a great backup. That's a great
backup for him. That's
like,
perfect.
Yeah, like literally, that's who you want. Oh, guy's always hurt. Give me the guy that's gonna win. But no, before you go on your take, I didn't know if you're going then, Huff. But who would have guessed? Michael Mackey is saying the Eagles aren't going to be any good. I could have told you that from a mile away.
I just said they have the roster for a Super Bowl. What do you mean? I said they weren't
the
going to be good.
The move wasn't that good, I should say. The Saquon Barkley move. At least you're not salty like these New York Giants fans I've talked to. Oh my God, you should.
Giants fans, the balls on them to be salty about him wanting to leave and get some money. This running back market, go get your money. Second of all, the Giants,
they're more mad. I think. Well, he is a villain, I guess. But like they're more mad at the Giants brass themselves. I don't think they're really mad at Barkley. But it's funny to see some of these quotes that how they have to cheer against him and whatnot, and like they think they're not getting rookie Barkley and all that. I think it's a great deal. I really do. I think he's gonna find the end zone a lot. This is a team that likes to play the game, running the ball. They control the tempo of the game. They outpossess people when they're playing their game. Alleviates the pressure on Jalen Hurts. Didn't he get a little banged up from all those tush pushes? I think personally. Plus, you're not going to see it without Jason Kelce as much, and it might get outlawed from the league and all that. I think this is a great piece. You can add him to the passing game, too. Jalen Hurts is a prolific short passing game guy. I think adding Saquon Barkley helps a lot. One of the best moves, I think, I didn't see this coming at all. I didn't think he was going to go to the Eagles. Surprised me a ton. Great pickup by them. I think they're the favorite to win the division now, personally.
I think this is a big move. Definitely, I also expected Dallas to make some moves. You let go of Tony Pollard, who didn't have the year everyone thought he was going to have last year in that first big role as their number one guy. It's going to be interesting to see, like Mackie said, they could be going after guys in the draft, Blake Corum, things like that could fill in. If they use them right, they could be electric pieces in their rookie year. But I think Saquon Barkley, like you said, to the Eagles, that's a huge threat, because any of those teams, you look at what everyone's freaking out over with the Ravens. Oh, who are you giving the ball to? Lamar, Derrick Henry, I think the Eagles arguably have just as good of a duo in the running game. You get Jalen Hurts, who they don't know if you line up in that sneak formation, you're assuming sneak, flip to Barkley. He's gone 40 yards. Like, he's still, I mean, like you said, he's not rookie Saquon Barkley. This is a guy, how many years into his career is he?
Like 8?
Oh,
6 to 8.
I don't know, not 8.
Yeah. It's
6?
like 6. I think he's 2 years older than us.
I was going to say, I think he got drafted in 2016. Or 2018.
2018, yeah.
Yeah, 2018. I meant 2018 because I graduated high school in 17. Dude, I think it's a big move. I think I didn't expect him to go there. They just lock up Landon Dickerson. They still have Lane Johnson. That offensive line still is going to have their identity, and that's going to be what it is try to run the ball down your throat. But
They still have
they'll
Brown, Smith,
they still got
Goddard
AJ
around the
Brown. They
two.
still got they still have their weapons. All they've done is add. Except they lost DeAndre Swift, and that's an upgrade with Saquon Barkley.
Did you see that all-time quote by Landon Dickerson?
Yeah, he's going to buy a
Go buy
lawnmower.
a tractor or something like that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
sent
just
that to you, Huff. That's fucking great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the bag. No, I'm getting a
They
tractor.
they go 0 turn. He goes, oh, 0 turn.
Yeah. Yeah. Make sure he's all out on the farm this summer, so that way he comes back and takes over the Jason Kelsey tush push role. But I think great move getting Barkley. Didn't see that coming.
He goes, that's why I got a financial guy, because I just like to buy dumb shit like that or something like that. It was so funny.
Yeah, just make your money, block those rushers. You got it. Nick Bosa, he's gonna be coming at you in the NFC Championships. You gotta be ready.
Alrighty, next one here. The Denver Broncos have informed safety Justin Simmons that he will be released from the team. Denver's in full reset mode after the dealings with Russell Wilson, which is what we will talk about next, and last year trading away key pieces. Can Sean Payton build a winning team in Denver with this roster? What are you thinking?
I don't know what the fuck Sean Payton's doing in Denver. I have no idea. Like, what is their
Getting
vision?
high?
Seriously.
Like,
They're
I
just
don't understand either.
I like how they drew the line. They were like, and we're going to sign Patrick Surtain to an extension. It's like,
all they care about is defense. They're just rebuilding their defense.
They have no first-round picks.
Huh?
They have no first-round picks, and the one guy you can get 2 first-round picks for, they want to extend. Like, there's your reset. Trade him. They could have kept so many of these guys. Traded Surtain last season at the deadline when everyone thought they were going to trade him. 2 first-round picks was the asking price. They didn't want to move on from him. Sean Payton did his little, I know what I'm doing here. I know what I'm doing here. You can't think he still wants to be there. Like, he's going to request a trade if they don't trade.
But that's like a Sean Payton thing, though. You build up that defense. They paid their top 2 defensive guys. Those are both all pros, Pro Bowlers, top of their position category. Maybe you start there. That's like what they're thinking. Let's start with our defense. Make sure we have a solidified defense, then we'll build offense from there. That's the only way I can look at it.
If they drop J.J. McCarthy, I don't like what they're going with at all.
Yeah, I don't like the offense at all, but they got to change it up somehow because what they had the last few years wasn't working. And I'm happy they moved on from Judy. They got to move on from some of those other receivers too. Because remember when they had Judy, Hamler, Sutton? Everybody's like, "This is an insane receiver core." Like it really wasn't. It's really mid.
Sutton is one of the more underrated.
Yeah,
receivers.
He's good. No, but Hamler and Judy,
yeah, KJ Hamler was so overhyped.
Yeah, same with Judy. I think I'm still waiting to see it on the field. Honestly, let's talk to someone about this the other day. We kind of went over that already in the Browns talk. You guys thought it was a good move, but I don't know. I haven't seen it at the NFL level yet. Interesting.
It's more
I
like I look at it. I'm like, you get a guy like that, a receiver for a 4th and a 6th that is a number 2. At least.
Yeah. You got him at a great deal, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah,
the potential's there. It's just the injury prone. So many guys injury prone nowadays. But I like that the Broncos held on to their cornerstones with Surtain and Justin Simmons. I mean, got to keep some people, I guess.
Yeah.
Wait, one more thing, Huff. Imagine you go to a Broncos game, those 2 guys aren't on the team. What jersey are people wearing?
That's the rookie that they draft.
Yeah, like nobody. Like you gotta keep somebody that they can sell merchandise for.
True. Javonte Williams.
Yeah. No.
Alrighty, and probably some of the biggest news here for one of our members of our show here. The Pittsburgh Steelers have signed free agent quarterback Russell Wilson to a 1-year, $1.65 million contract to make him the next QB of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Russ is officially in the black and gold. Here we go. Huff, what are you thinking about this one?
I mean, I've been talking about this for the past 7 months when obviously last season when it started to kind of become a realistic thing with Pickett starting to slide and, going from there, we didn't know what we were going to do with the quarterback position. You get a guy like Russell Wilson. I'm seeing some of these quarterback deals. Sam Darnold to the Vikings, $8 million. Marcus Mariota to the Commanders, $6 million. Mason Rudolph, $3.5 million. We have a Super Bowl winning quarterback, okay, everyone say it, 10 years ago, that we just got for $1.2 million. This is the biggest low-risk, high-reward move that I've seen in a while. There's a lot of players that you come to mind, like Ace. Whenever we said, I remember telling you this when the Patriots got Antonio Brown. You said low risk, high reward. They moved on from as soon as it became a low risk and it became a high risk. They were like, this isn't worth it. We're out of here. There's certain like this is one where you don't have to worry about anything off the field. Yeah, he's a weird dude, cringy dude. People love to bring up all the stuff that he did in Denver. Team 3 wanted an office and all that shit. Mike Tomlin's not dealing with that. Russell Wilson's coming here to be the starter. I assume he knows he's the starter coming into this season. You get him on a $1.2 million contract. Denver's paying him $39 million. I know we just sent out Deontay Johnson to Carolina. You guys know how I feel about him. I'm not going to lose sleep over that. George Pickens is your number 1 receiver. We're a wide receiver factory. I don't think we're done on the offensive side of the ball. Najee Harris, I think we're going to draft Jackson Powers Johnson, the center out of Oregon, in the first round. Just keep solidifying that offensive line that I said and fill it in with a veteran quarterback. And I couldn't have asked for anyone better than my guy, Russ. I've been saying it for years. Favorite non-Steeler of all time just became a Steeler. So great week for me. I'm not kidding. I didn't sleep for about 3.5 hours after seeing that news.
Yeah, I mean, Mac, you remember how nuts this guy was going in the chat that night? It was like they won the Super Bowl or something.
It's coming. It's coming.
Come on.
Well, they're calling the first round of the playoffs a Super Bowl win nowadays, I guess. But no, it's a good move, I think. And I love the deal hop. That's probably my favorite part about it. You talk about that risk reward and whatnot. I mean, you got him at a great price point. I thought you were going to have to get multiple years for this guy or a big dollar amount, but he wants to go win football games. He's joining a winning coach and a winning team. You're right with the wide receiver factor. I talked about this with Mackie earlier, this being a wide receiver heavy draft. I could see you guys grabbing one rounds 2 through 4, really putting them on, bursting onto the scene, be a good one after shipping out Deontay Johnson. One thing I do want to ask, though, Jesse, what kind of iPhone do you have? What number is that one? 14. Yeah, the last time Russell Wilson won the Super Bowl, it was an iPhone 6, Huff. So that is a pretty long time ago. But maybe he can get back to those winning ways. I do like them bringing him in. Much better than anything else they had rolling with, too.
Yeah, I like the move as well. I think,
like
I mean,
6 reference.
All you guys really need is a quarterback. We've seen that for the past few years, but I don't know. Hopefully, it's the answer. Hopefully, you guys can do some damage.
Where do you guys slot them to come in? I'll ask Mackie first.
I already said. I said 12-5. I take that back. I'm gonna go 11-6, second in the division.
That's exactly what I said. 11-6. I think I think he's guaranteed an extra win, but I think a lot of our wins last year were fluke.
They're
wins.
9.
We were not.
They're 9-8. They're 9-8 with Trubisky, Pickett, and Rudolph.
Duck Hodges.
You get a guy who you can trust for 18 games. I think you win at least 2 more
double
games
digits,
there.
Yeah, they should be in the double-digit win category. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I wonder how he's going to mesh. One thing we talked about Russell Wilson, yada yada. This is more about Huff being able to claim him as his own now and celebrating that and looking forward to an exciting season. But we talked about this when he was a free agent more so. I mean, I just want to see how he meshes right away because he didn't mesh well in Denver right off the rip. And he had a legendary coach in Sean Payton. And I know that was Sean Payton's first time in Denver and whatnot. And Mike Tomlin has had this team forever and ever. And it's like we know what you know what you're getting with him. But you can't be wasting too much time because it's only on that 1-year deal. So we'll have to see if he can make an immediate impact.
See, I think it's a little different than when Sean Payton came in, because when Sean Payton came in, it was pretty apparent from the start that he didn't like him. The opening press conference, the one media member said, it's been known that the quarterback has his own office upstairs. It's kind of private. His team, his own quarterback coach, and Sean Payton literally said, "Yeah, that's not going to happen while I'm here."
Yeah,
so basically just said, me and this guy aren't going to get along to start.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. It's very different.
Made it work.
Mike Tomlin's established, and then Mike Tomlin's really established. Like,
but also Mike Tomlin's the one bringing him in versus Sean Payton inherited him.
Yeah, I get that too. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, and they have the pieces around them. If they're not successful, though, I don't know where the Steelers go from here.
Yeah, that's where they'll like. This is we've never signed a free agent of this like. Big net, like we never go after big free agents. That's why I'm Patrick Queen on the other side of the ball. Let's mention that 3 years, $41 million.
That's a bigger move. Like,
yeah,
I like the quote that Patrick Queen had too. That stuff that came out about how Mike Tomlin approached him, said, "You're not a Raven," and all that shit. I think that's pretty cool.
He took it personal. It's like, no, Mike Tomlin meant you're going to be a Steeler in about 2 years.
Yeah, and then all the Ravens guys posted on social media too, like traitor. I hope you go 0-17. Like it's good. it makes for good juice going into the rivalry. So. He deserved that money after the year he had. A tough rookie year for Queen, but he jumped back on the scene. Then
He was a
Another
dog
defensive
last
piece
year.
for this. Another defensive piece for the Steelers. I mean, what a move.
I'd like to see us draft, if in a perfect scenario in this order, I'd like us to go center, receiver, defensive line in the 3rd round.
Yeah, and we're going to be fighting with you guys for those receivers in the middle rounds. A lot of people want those. There's a good draft, though. Good draft, though. Eager to see how this goes. Hyping up for the draft, not too far away, so that'll be interesting. Got some
Like,
good
dude, I
free
remember
agency
when we
news coming
drafted
in days,
Juju
too.
in the 2nd round. I was like, who the fuck did we just draft? What's this guy's name?
Well,
I
to
look
be
him up.
fair-
I'm like,
To be fair, his name was Juju Smith-Schuster.
yeah. I look him up. I'm like, what? Never heard of the guy. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
but you guys
all
are the
right, I
wide
mean,
receiver
obviously he was
factor.
good
They'll
here.
develop. They'll develop. I like the Dante Jackson ad on the defensive side of the ball too. I think that's a good piece. But no, the Steelers got some good vibes going into this year. Should be an exciting season. Chips falling in the right direction. Everybody else besides the Ravens falling down, and Ravens just add Derrick Henry in the meanwhile. So, I mean, that division is going to be a nice little slaughterhouse once again.
You think Pickett could request a trade? That's like the next rumor going around. I don't think he has the leverage to.
No, I don't think so either. He'll hit the open market next year and be someone else's backup.
Yeah. He'll do what Mason
Unless you
Rudolph
guys,
did,
unless
go
you
to
guys can
Tennessee or
scalp pick,
Denver.
unless you guys can do what we did with Mac Jones and scalp picks for Kenny Pickett, but I don't think you're going to be able to.
No. Not if he's not playing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
His stock is going to stay the same, if not go backwards, or down, because
down.
he's going to be a backup.
Hey, Sam Darnold just doing what former first round picks that busted wish they could do, getting a $10 million contract, $14 million contract with the
Yeah.
Vikings.
It's crazy.
It'll be something to watch, but a lot of good NFL news coming in, and there's a lot more to come too. I'm expecting some big trades, but the next time we meet next week, there's going to be some more trades too, I bet.
If this is our last point, the one that I did want to talk about that I might have missed is, I think Christian Wilkins to the Raiders, him and Max Crosby together. I put that question in there. I do think them, and the other one that no one's going to think of is the Giants. You get Brian Burns for a 2nd and a 5th. You bring him in with Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon Thibodeau. Dude, that's a scary defensive line.
You definitely saw that poster on Instagram that I saw too. The 3 of them standing next to each other. I'm like, damn, that's a mean pass.
Because I like Thibodeau a lot coming into the league. I didn't like all the stuff that they're like, he doesn't want to play football, this bullshit. He's an animal, and you
got to score points off. You got to score points off because that other side of the ball for the Giants is brutal.
Exactly, they got to do something, dude. They have a legit. I think they just lost McKinney too, Xavier McKinney to the Packers. Is that correct?
Yep. We talked about that one too. That was a good one. But yeah, a lot more moves to come. There's some good ones early on. I think there's a lot of fireworks this free agency. Biggest ones coming from the running back room though.
Giants always draft they're not scared to like take a chance on those big names, and they got to hit on one sooner or later.
Yeah.
I think they're just going to draft O-line again though. That's what they need to do.
They always do.
Lots of good stuff, boys, as we finish up here this week. NFL free agency is here. NHL trade deadline came and went. MLB opening day just 2 weeks away. That's all I got here this week. Anything else to add, boys, before we get out here?
Dylan Cease just got traded to the Padres. Pretty big move. Might affect those Padres odds a little bit. Kind of crazy.
Pretty big
but other
move.
than that, some good stuff. That's still a little ways away. We're big in NFL offseason. NBA and NHL heating up. NBA, we'll get some more news on that for you next week. But
MLB, what, 2 weeks away now?
Well, 1 week for the
days.
first game, but 2 weeks for the official league.
Yeah.
But
yeah, all right. Sounds good. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys. Well, it's Saturday. Division Conference Championship weekend. Big weekend for college basketball. Can't wait. We're killing the card lately. 2-1 today so far. By the time you listen to this, these plays will be over. 3-0 yesterday. 1-0 the day before. We've been on fire this week. Conference tournament, just tearing it up. Can't wait for the championships this weekend. Going to get some good basketball. Hoping we get a UConn, Mackie. I didn't really get to talk about this with you. I'm hoping we get a UConn St. John's finals at MSG on Friday or Saturday night, whenever that'd be. I think that'd be a prime Big East tournament finals.
UConn St. John's, that'd be pretty dope. I'd like to see
Rick
that.
Pitino breaks out the white suit again.
Yeah, I think it'd be a 20-point favorite too.
Yeah, but I just like St. John's and Pitino. They could. Marquette could be without Kolick, so they're not a guarantee. They're gonna have to go through UConn.
Creighton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm
Alrighty,
excited.
that's all. See you guys next week.